Oh, I gotta put my mic on. We gotta get it together, y'all. Hope I'm not showing my business. My business. Okay. Do I sound okay, babe? Oh. We gotta get it together, y'all. Hope I'm not showing my business. My business. Okay. Do I sound okay, babe?
All right.
Are we good?
All right.
Okay. Un momento.
You are live.
Okay. Okay. Hey, y'all. We are late. Oh, oh, yeah, we're kind of late. I'm late, you know. I'm late but prepared, though, I must say. How am I sounding, babe? David has all new equipment tonight, you guys. So he's fancy over there. Oh, thank you so much. Dreaming Cat Studios, how are you this evening? Good evening. I have so much stuff on my desk. I'm not sure how this happens. So he's fancy over there. Oh, thank you so much. Dreaming Cat Studios, how are you this evening?
Both of my
Good evening.
Devices are connected to my headphones.
Oh.
So I was getting two sets of sound.
Oh, that's weird.
We'd rather not do that.
Oh, hello from Santa Barbara. Hey, Fleek. How are you this? Hey, Sheila, how are you? Lisa Vansell, I'm assuming that's you, Lisa.
All right. Yes. All right. We are looking like people are here.
Look, I got my first tin of Christmas cookies, you guys, so. Oh. I know, Carol, the time change is killing me. You don't even know how many times I've messed up this week or last week trying to get to meetings on time. It's been a challenge. You want to say hi, baby, before we get started?
Well, there's a lot you already said hello to. So we got Sheila Teagan, Flea Brown, Lisa Vansell, Angie Champagne, Sherry Benhart, Carol Kincaid, Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis, Melissa Q. E. Gomez, Lori Stanley Henderson, and Marty Hardy.
Good evening.
Over on YouTube, we have Dreaming Cat Studios, who says, we had rain for 3 days. After a year of drought, it's a blessing. Where are you at, Dreaming Cat? And Lori Henderson decorated cookies today with grandkids.
Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds fun.
So, and Lisa Vansell says, hi, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Although every time you get new technology, I remember why you don't get new technology very often.
Yeah, I'm a creature of habit.
Yes. So we'll see how long it takes him to get used to the new stuff.
So we were with the grandkids a lot yesterday. Yesterday?
Yeah. Well, kind of broken out through the last couple of days, really. Not a lot, but...
That's true. Our daughter-in-law, Ari, brought one of our grandkids, brought Tiana.
To the auction?
To the auction on Whatnot. By the way, follow Royce Cycle. It's the same thing, Royce Cycle Treasures on Whatnot. Every other Friday.
Hey, Chris.
Is an auction. So no auction this Friday.
No auction this Friday because of the holiday.
Although you were talking about maybe doing a pop-up during the week, so you might want to...
I don't know. We'll see. Babe.
I think you should.
We'll see how much bandwidth I have.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got to get orders out because there's only we have fewer shipping days.
Yeah, but on Friday, so she brought our granddaughter for that, and we put her to work for a little while. She worked a lot. She worked a lot. And then she came over to our place yesterday.
Yes.
And then we went over to their place last night. And the photo I got of you, see, I was I was posting photos without being able to see them.
The one photo, I was like,
You look so disgusted that his version of hide and seek is just going under a blanket.
no, I don't even know why I made. There was no particular reason I made that.
But I couldn't see the photos.
Oh, it's probably when you told me I don't know how to play hide and seek.
Oh, that could be.
That's probably the look.
You don't know how to play hide and seek with him.
I know.
So,
It's funny. You say hide and seek, and I say hide, go seek. Did you catch that? That's interesting. What do y'all say? I'm curious. Okay.
So, yes. And then we did FaceTime today because God bless our daughter-in-law. I did promise her I would get the kids some Cardinal stuff because our daughter-in-law is an Arizona Cardinals fan. But she dressed them in the Packers stuff today.
She did.
Yeah, they're playing the San Francisco 49ers.
Did you see your screenshots
What screenshot?
that I took when we were on FaceTime?
No, I did not.
They're in your gallery.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, Melissa says hide and seek. Denise Plummer Thompson, hide and seek. Karen Moyer, hide and go seek.
See?
Janet Borgers, hide and seek. Erica Peck, just to throw another monkey wrench in, hide and seek, the letter
yeah,
N.
hide and seek.
Thank you, Denise Plummer Thompson. I was just about to say, don't tell me what happened,
Oh, yeah, don't tell them what happened yet.
but she did.
Man.
It's all right. It's a win, and I'm good.
You're going to take it, baby.
I will take it. We, unfortunately, that game was the national game.
Oh, so we wouldn't be able to watch it?
Well, no, the Cardinals were playing at the exact same time, and we're the Cardinals market.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to see the game. The rest of the country got to see the game, not Arizona and not Seattle.
I'm sorry, baby.
That's all right.
So, quick
No,
recap.
it's okay. Denise, it's all right. If you told me they lost, then it would have been a problem. They won, so I'm okay.
Hide and seek. Okay, so I say hide and go seek. I don't know. Hide, go seek. Hide and go seek.
Hide and seek in Australia. That's what Samantha Brown says.
Very interesting.
So,
You guys, tonight, I put you guys down to my table, which is a fabulous mess, by the way. And I'm saying that like wholeheartedly. It is a fabulous mess. Because I spent some time prepping for you guys tonight because we have a lot. And I forgot to look up some stuff before we came on. So maybe some of you know.
Nancy Prodzik is saying hello from the ER at the Sarita Hospital.
Oh, no.
She's here with her mom. I hope your mom's okay. You know what? I have a friend that, well, she's not in, Jamie texted me today. So for those of you who don't know, I have a radio talk show. And one of my guests scheduled for tomorrow texted me and had to cancel, Jamie, who's friends of both of ours, because she said she's in Tucson for a family emergency as well. So fingers crossed for everybody. Sarita's close to Tucson. It's basically a Tucson suburb. Ali Oskin free, whatever that means.
You should say that, like after you count. No, after you find the person.
No, it's after you count. Ali, and we said oxen free, OXEN. I have no idea why.
It's supposed to be outcome free, right? I thought you said that like after you were done with the game, so anybody who was still hiding could come out.
No, because you counted, but if everybody ran away far enough, they wouldn't know that you stopped counting. So that's when you yelled out, at least this is how we did it, Ali, and like I say, we said oxen free. Or ready or not, here I come. Either one is acceptable.
Ready or not, here I come.
Oh, yeah, Ali, oxen free. Hide. Wait, did you say, now I'm trying to remember, wait, say it again.
That's after the game is like over and people are still hiding.
Oh,
and then you
okay.
say, Ali, outcome free. That like lets you know that you can come out and you won't get
okay.
fined.
Well, we said it before, too, so.
I just want to talk about my cookies.
We were weird kids.
They're switching stuff up.
Yeah.
What are these new cookies? What is this Christmas tree with the sugar on it? What is that? And what is this little gift right here? I do appreciate 2 stacks of the swirly ones, though, because those are my favorite. Okay, sorry, I digress.
Kathleen Hoovis says you say it at the end for everybody to come in. Denise Thompson. Denise must be from the Midwest because she says Ali oxen free. So
I think it's one of those things when you're kids, you
Yep.
say what you hear and you never really think about like
Yep.
what it means.
Carol Kincaid's husband is watching the Lions playing catch up. So I won't say anything if he's listening.
So tonight, you guys, I feel bad because I was going to do some research. I was on Pinterest today and I saw a post where someone used molds to make, and I can't think of the name of what they are. Maybe somebody on here knows. So they're casting. So in like the 1800s, people would travel and they would collect castings of famous people. And then as time went on, they would display them in frames. And then when people, of course, capitalism, realized that people were doing that, then a lot of people started making them. And
Castings
travelers,
of what?
Of like famous people. So it would be like a little circle with like Caesar or...
Oh, you're talking like carvings? Like wood carvings or shaved into metals?
No, they would be like castings made of like plaster.
Okay.
Little mini plaster.
All right. I've heard of one of those, and I'm going to try and say this as delicately as I can.
No, it's not a bad word.
Not a bad word.
Okay.
So there was someone who was doing that of famous rock stars, plaster of Paris, and it wasn't
Okay, no,
their
that's
faces.
not what it was. That's not what it was. Though.
Okay. Jimi Hendrix, apparently a big star, if I can phrase it that way.
Oh, wow. No, that is not what we're doing here.
Okay.
So I cannot think of the name. I'm so mad. I was so busy prepping you guys because I didn't want us to spend a lot of time. So I've already painted these in preparation for tonight's project. This is what they look like before. You guys know they're just blank wood
Cameos?
palettes. We're going to use the cameo mold, but they're not called cameo. It's a Latin word, and I just cannot even think of the name of it right now. I'm so upset because I told myself I was going to hop on Pinterest and peek before I started. So I will look it up, you guys, and when I post a finished project tomorrow, I will put the name of what they are. So in order to make them, I pulled out a couple of molds. I pulled out the conservatory mold because I like this one. I think this one would be really pretty to be able to display inside of a frame. And then, of course, I pulled out the cameo mold because we do have castings of people that we can do in here. And I thought, just for consideration, after we do them, you guys will see them, and you can. And I wanted to bring out a couple of things to maybe think about. Since it is Christmas, maybe this could be something you could add to your gallery wall. That would be really simple, but really pretty. And you could maybe use the baubles mold or even a snowflake mold. But we're not going to use these today. I just wanted you guys to think about other molds that you could use. So what I'm going to be using tonight are the cameo and the conservatory molds. And I also snagged, when I went to the warehouse, the rosette mold. I feel like this one is so underutilized, and this is so perfect for Christmas. They're not like, obviously, specifically for Christmas. Whoops, that's too tight. Let's pull it out a little bit more. They're not specifically for Christmas, but these are certainly can be glued back to back to make really beautiful ornaments. And so I want to use at least one of these. We'll figure out exactly what we're going to do as we move forward. So I'm going to be using molds. Tonight, you guys know I'm going to be using resin because that's how I roll. And I'm using Aluminite quick casting resin. This is the 7-minute one. I believe it's like 7 minute. Oh, the 10-minute one. So this is a 10-minute. And it is a casting resin. It's not the 12-hour resin. And then I'm also going to be using the recycled crockery textures decoupage paper. Now, the last time you guys saw me use this paper, we made a different project. I used it in conjunction with the crockery stencil. You guys remember? And we made this one where we made our crockery, and we used the blue paper, and then we used some transfers to create this piece. We're going to be using a different piece tonight, though. So I thought that I considered this one, but it's a little bit too dark, although this would be really beautiful. And sorry, side note, I painted the frames red because I want to do these gold. So ultimately, this is going to be gold. The inside of this, we're gonna use decoupage paper on. And then we're going to have a casting that we've painted a simple white, and we're going to go around the edges with gold. So that's the plan, to make something kind of bougie. If you have friends who are hard to make because they are bougie, this is one of those really nice, like elegant projects that you can create that someone like that would appreciate. But I was thinking I was going to use this one. This texture is really like subtle, and it has really beautiful crazing in it. And I thought this would be beautiful. And as a side note, you guys, last week we loved the toolbox because of the finish on that toolbox. But if you don't have that, maybe you could use a piece of paper to kind of emulate that texture, and then put the transfers right over the top of that. That would be beautiful. But let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do decoupage first, and then we'll start making our molds.
So we have a couple of things. Lori Stanley Henderson, how did that toolbox go Friday?
It went really, really well, actually. I did not expect it to go for as much as it did, but I was grateful.
I want to say
so
31 bids?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, there were a lot of bids.
A lot of bids. So your style is apparently a lot of people's style.
I think it was, I'm telling you. So I want to talk about that toolbox a little bit, because sometimes I think we respond emotionally to things, and I am an overthinker. I'm a professional overthinker. So I was thinking about why, right? Why do we respond so? Because there was a lot of response for that toolbox. And I have two answers. One, I think, is color theory. So that toolbox, and just let me see if I can pull up a picture of it, just in case there's somebody who's watching who...
That you don't even have to go further. I completely agree with you. The colors on that drew you in.
Yes, but I want to talk about why. Because I think when I taught my crafting and color class, I know there are a lot of people that were like, oh, I don't need color theory. Like, I'm not there yet. But the reality is, if you're using color, like, you want to know how to use color to be able to evoke emotions, you know what I'm saying, if you're making stuff, especially if you're making things to sell. So I think there's a couple of things. A, color theory. So if we look at our color wheel, that box was kind of like a blue-green, right? So it's like a blue-green color. And then directly across, we have both red and orange, which that color, we have like red, and we also have orange. And so we're looking at complements, which is why there's so much energy in that piece, because you have that beautiful kind of a pinky orange roses against the blue green. And so they're complementary, which means that they create a lot of energy between the two of them. And they're really beautiful. Two, like, what are the odds of me finding that toolbox with a color that was harmonious with the color of the transfer? So it wasn't just any blue-green color. It was one that tonally really matched that transfer. And so they looked really good together. They weren't competing, but they were, I don't know, it was like a perfect storm, if you will, those two colors together on there. So I think color theory had a lot to do with why that piece was so beautiful. And it's just an example of understanding color and why it's so important, because we think of color as the color. It's red, it's green, it's blue, it's dark, and it's light. But color theory is about the hue, which is the color, the temperature, whether it's warm or cool, the transparency of the color. Is it a bright color or is it a muted color? Like, all those things are things we consider when we're putting colors together, when we're mixing colors, and how they behave with each other. So I do think that was, to me, one of the reasons why it was totally beautiful was color theory. And then the second thing is the juxtaposition of this like really rusty, crusty, utilitarian toolbox with this beautiful, elegant, you know what I'm saying, with these roses. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is my personal favorite, is mixing those two things. But
also, not Lisa Van Sil, Rebecca Stolman Intaglio.
Yes, thank you. Actually, the G is silent because I went to Google to see how to pronounce it.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Talo, I think.
Talio?
Yes, thank you so much. That's what they're called. And so I was gonna, my goal was to go to Pinterest and do a screenshot and show you guys the picture so you could see the creator. But I will share her link on my Facebook page so you guys can see where I got the idea from. But yes, that's what they were. So imagine you can't take a photograph. So it must have been like the 1600s. You can't take a photograph, but you want to capture someone's likeness. And so these little pieces of plaster would be carved in the likeness of famous people. And so when you went on your travels, you could collect them. And a lot of people would display them. And so we're going to make ours. Of course, they won't be famous people, but they'll be beautiful.
Real quick, if I could ask you, if you're on Facebook, please share, make a comment, put in any kind of emoji you like. We like those. It all helps the channel. And if you're on YouTube, hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe. It really does help. And comment as well. If you hit the bell for notifications, and look, I've been loading apps for 2 weeks, and they all allow notifications. Almost none of them I allow. I get that. At least YouTube lets you customize it.
So you don't have to hear from everyone.
So I don't get everybody's notifications. So take advantage of that.
So you guys notice how I use my fingernails to score the paper so I know exactly where to cut. And even though I know exactly where to cut, I'm still leaving like, I don't know, a quarter, probably like an eighth of an inch around my edge so that if I make a mistake, like I still have room to make corrections. And so I am going to decoupage this in right away because I know that this is going to take a bit to dry. And so I want to get it in here so this can be drying while we're working. And I have these other two out. I'm hoping we can get everything done tonight. But you guys know I always think I can do more than what I can actually get done. So we'll see what happens.
Over on YouTube, Jill Burmeister, been a long time since being able to watch. So she's live. And Renee T is a first-timer.
Well, welcome, Renee. Welcome to the mayhem. And yes, we do a lot of chit-chatting here, just so you know. This is our hangout on Sunday nights, but we also do a lot of creating.
Lisa Vancil, why does an emoji help? It's interaction.
It's the interaction. So
Facebook wants to know that the audience is engaged with whatever is happening. They really don't want you to be passive. They want you to be active. And if you're active, then the algorithm thinks, oh, well, then this needs to go out to more people. So, because you've got a lot of people that like your page, but don't necessarily remember or see that you're live.
That I'm live.
So the more engagement, the more they put it out to the people who want this. So that's why. So comments, emojis, sharing, it all, it really does make a difference. Look, we're at the whims of the Z-Man. We got to do what he says.
So for decoupage tonight, I'm using 1 hour enamel. I actually do know what's in here, even though it says matte varnish. It is 1 hour enamel. Ooh, I thought that was going to pop out, but it's kind of sticky. You guys, I'm so terrible to my craft supplies. It's a sad state of affairs over here. I'm gonna just put some more in there. I think that's what I did last time. I'm gonna decoupage these really quickly, and then we're gonna get to doing the casting resin in our molds. And I forgot to mention one other thing I'm gonna be using tonight is Wise Owl's 1 hour enamel. This color is called Cashmere. It's a really warm white. And I wanted to use the 1 hour enamel because it's a self-leveling product. And this is going to go a long way to creating something that looks like plaster.
Cindy Nygaard, here's my engaging, and she gave 2 thumbs up.
We'll take it.
We'll take it. Thank you, Cindy. Off topic, we saw a friend of ours. We went grocery shopping today. We typically go on Sundays. Why, I have no idea, because it's live day. We're really making life hard for ourselves when we do that.
When we do that. Well, because Saturday is the only, sometimes we went Saturday last week. didn't we?
No, I think we
I
went on
think
Sunday.
yesterday was the first day in a long time where we didn't have anything.
Yeah, which is
And
true.
So my poor husband, he looked so tired, y'all. I just let him sit on the couch all day.
No, we had I napped for a tiny bit.
Yeah, you napped while I was on the live.
Yeah, well,
I had my membership call yesterday.
Yep, the membership yesterday. So I napped during that, and then, like I said, our daughter-in-law came over.
Yes.
So, yeah. Anyway, why did I bring this up? Oh, we saw a friend of ours at the grocery store. He's hosting 100 people for Thanksgiving.
Oh my gosh, I know. But you know, when he says that, it sounds like a lot. But I think about Thanksgiving when my grandmother was alive, and there had to be 100 people, or close to it.
Oof.
I mean, there was a lot of people. But yes, 100 people. And there, David and I are getting our little turkey breast because it's just going to be the two of us. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy.
KT Rainwater, so true. I've been aware of your artistic style and products for years. I never found you on Facebook until last Sunday.
Oh, wow.
See, that's what I mean. You may want, there's stuff I want to see, especially for work. Because I leave my Facebook up. I mean, it's the radio station's Facebook, but I leave it up all day, and it just drives me crazy
That you don't see.
that I don't see it until. And it's like our city's public information officer will post something, and I don't see it for like 6 hours,
Yeah.
and it's not his fault. He's posting it, you know. So the more engagement, the better off
The more likely
you are
get
to
pushed
see
out. Yeah.
what you want to see. Carol Kincaid, we're only baking a chicken. Anna Pierce, 100 is a lot. See, that's what I thought.
I mean, it is a lot. I'm just saying that my family, because when my grandmother was here, like if Miss Rosetta said that everybody's going to be at her house for Thanksgiving, there was no questions asked. And you know what house it was, baby? It was our little house. Mm. And it wasn't uncomfortable. I don't know. I don't know how she did it.
It couldn't have been 100.
It wasn't. I mean, no, it may have been, you know.
Because I'm trying to think of because my grandmother hosted Thanksgiving until she retired. Then one of my aunts did. Mm-hmm. And I'm
it
trying.
Probably wasn't 100, but it felt like it.
They have 5, 3, another 3. Yeah, see, we would have like, depending on if anybody was in town. So there were like a dozen that lived around us. Mm-hmm. And then we had an aunt that lived in California, but she would occasionally come in. And she would bring her 2 daughters, 2 of my cousins. And my uncle was, you roll the dice. He might be there, he might not. You never knew.
Never knew.
You just never knew. So I think at most we might have had 16, 17.
Oh, no.
And that felt like a lot.
So I will explain our family to you. So my grandmother my grandfather had a family. His wife passed, and then he remarried later in life and had another family. So like my Uncle Luther, who is probably, I think me and Andrea said 80, 79, he was like way younger than my grandmother. So like for us, I didn't just hang out with my first cousins. I hung out with my second cousins too.
Not second cousins, second set of cousins.
Well, yes. But
are you talking about your
my grandmother
parents'
had
cousins?
kids. So Elaine,
Yeah.
right, is my great aunt's daughter. And she's the same age as
so
my mom.
she's your mom's cousin.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So our family was literally kind of doubled, you know. Anyways,
yeah.
So there was a lot of people. So it wasn't just like, you know, my mom and her siblings and her kids. It was my mom's and her siblings and her kids and her cousins or her aunts and their kids. And my Aunt Mary had 7 by herself. I mean, It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of people.
See, now my second cousins, we would hang out, but not on those holidays.
Oh, yeah.
It would be like we do Christmas Eve at my grandmother's brothers. You know, so my mom's cousins.
Yeah.
But they were closer to my age than they were to my mom.
Yes.
You know. Yeah.
Anyways.
But we didn't do like Thanksgiving. We would see them, like I say, off times.
No, and my grandmother was like the matriarch. So if she said, literally, that we're going to have Thanksgiving at my house, then we had Thanksgiving at her house. And everybody lived in California, by the way. The tricks were made.
Tina Burke does about 40 every get-together, excuse me. Dreaming Cat Studio, for the first time in years, my family and I opted out of Thanksgiving. We're all just tired and old. Cooking and cleaning and hosting, especially this year, just looks overwhelming.
Yeah, we're with you.
Yep.
David and I are going to be home alone with a turkey breast.
Some greens, some mashed potatoes.
I did buy me a sweet potato. I'll probably bake it and just put some pecans on there with some brown sugar and some butter.
Denise Plummer Thompson, what do you call the containers you use to dispense your 1 hour enamel clear stuff?
These are FIFO bottles. It's FIFO. This one actually isn't. It's FIFO, all capitals, and it's first in, first out. They're used in the restaurant industry to hold like sauces and stuff. So like this one has this kind of a tip, which I generally use with my clear coats. But the other ones that I like to use with my paints has like the little rubber top on them. And I used to use them a lot more than I use them now. I'm terrible, you guys. I've gotten into bad habits. But I will say that if you're going to use them, try to use them with products that you use often, because you don't want to pour out a whole can into a FIFO bottle of a color that you barely use, because it'll probably dry out in that bottle. But the colors that I use often, they'll be in FIFO bottles. Like this one, you see how the tip, it's like that rubber tip. If you've ever worked in fast food, you'll recognize it right away, right? And so you can get them on Amazon.
Speaking of second cousins, my second cousin is watching.
Oh, how funny.
Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
Talk about going to Uncle Frank and Auntie Helen's house.
See?
Let's see. Renee Amundsen, I would like to like a video, but YouTube saves it in your liked videos, which I don't care for. If I wanted to save it, I would to a particular subject. I get that. I do get that. Flea Brown, is there a reason you are not misting your papers?
I am, Flea. I'm just working really fast through this. I'm misting them a little bit before I put them in here. I'm just not highlighting it because, I don't know, because we're talking about other stuff. Look, David is getting me off topic, Flea. So I am misting my paper, you guys, and I mist it so that it stretches. And then that way, when it comes in contact with my decoupage medium, it doesn't wrinkle. And I got a message this week with a question about decoupaging an insert. And this is how I approach it. When I'm putting my decoupage medium down, I make sure to only put it where I want my paper to stick. And then I'm going to go over the top like this. And you guys will see that there's extra paper around the edge. I'm going to wait for this to dry completely. And then I'll use my razor blade to go in and trim that excess paper off. And that's how I approach like decoupaging an insert. And for this project, I chose to use this side so that it would be framed out. But I suppose you could use, you know, this side too if you wanted to.
Nancy says hello to you. That's my cousin.
I said hello first. She said hello.
I know.
Yeah.
She just said hello.
I know. Thank you, Nancy. I know. I don't know any of your extended family, just the boys.
Yeah. Well, Nancy's still back in Illinois, I believe. Are you in Illinois or Wisconsin now? I'm not sure. But yeah.
So I'm going to set these aside, you guys. We're going to come back and we're going to paint these gold. The last weekend before last, I think, we talked about why I painted red under gold. It's supposed to make your gold look like richer and yummier. It was a blog article I read years ago, and they were talking about one of the tricks to crate and barrel and why their gold looks so fabulous. So I painted those red in preparation for tonight.
Nancy's up in Wisconsin now. Nancy was the first person to take me trick-or-treating at night.
Oh, at night?
At night. I could only trick-or-treat during the day. That was my mom's rule.
Your mom was a police officer.
She was paranoid. My mom knew all the bad things, which is never good. You know. She also lied to me. She told me you can't drive barefoot. There's no law. But she tried to tell me it's the law.
It was therapeutic lying, baby.
Yeah. But Nancy was the first. My mom allowed me to go out if Nancy went with me. So that was the first time I trick-or-treated at night.
So Nancy was responsible.
Yep. Oh, Nancy, please. Nancy's rock solid.
I was thinking on the first one, we could do this big one right here. And this one is kind of like a toile scene. I'm trying to see what it is. It's like a little scene in there. So I thought it might be nice to have a person and then have a scene right underneath them. What do you guys think? So we could put these two and display them in this frame. And then in the smaller frames, I feel like, I feel like if I use one cameo, I need to use another cameo. And I don't know if I just want to use cameos because I kind of really want to play with this one. So I was thinking it might be fun to just use two of these, one of each. These are pretty tiny though. So we'd have to use the smaller ones and put little rosettes in these. What do you guys think?
Kathy Hoovis, we were always told you can't drive barefoot too. And she's from the Midwest. Mine was just my mom. So.
And I contemplated this one, but now that I'm looking at my selections, I really don't see like a place for this one. But we have so many options, you guys, right? So you could put together whatever you want. But I think we're going to stick with these two molds. And this rosette is really pretty. And this one. Are those going to be big enough? I should look in my containers. You know what, baby? Do me a favor. I don't think I'm going to have any rosettes in there. It's okay. I was going to say I should look in my container and see if I have some already.
Do you want me to hand them to you?
Yeah, let me see them real quick.
All right.
That'll give me time to eat a cookie. You guys, I wish somebody would make a whole tin of just these kind. Because I always end up eating those, and then the other ones just, I don't know. They get eaten later out of desperation. So these are my containers. If I'm pouring resin, I don't like to do like really, I don't like to do math, not like super specific. So sometimes I'll have like a little resin left over in my cup, but I do not waste anything. So I will just go ahead and pour something and then it goes into my bins. So that I have them for future projects. And so that's what's in here. And a lot of times when we're doing Whatnot on Fridays, you guys will see castings in the jar. And this is where they come from. They come from my little bins. I don't think I have anything in here.
Sparks of Joy Studio, love the flowers. I don't have that mold. Do you have that mold for sale or do you have to get it from IOD?
No, this one right here, you can actually find it at roycycle.equid.com. I think I have I'll just do this one. This one has all of my links on it. If you go there, and you can see where you can buy IOD there. But yes, I do have these. And I was looking when I was at the warehouse. I actually bought a bunch of them. And then I didn't sell a bunch. But I don't know why these didn't sell as much as I thought they would. So I don't have anything in here. Ooh, these little locks would make really cute ones too.
Chris Schmidt, my dad had 13 siblings. Dad's side of the family all got together once a year. They would rent a local park and 250 to 275 people would gather. We had pony rides, 2 cotton candy vendors, and catered main dishes. Started at 11 a.m., ended at 8:30 p.m. Everyone was sunburned, filthy, and exhausted.
Yes. We call those family reunions, girl. And yes. Only there was no catering. We had my Uncle Bubble at the grill and my Uncle Luther arguing about whose barbecue was the best. There'd be some card playing, some high-end go-seek playing, all the things. And we have not had a family reunion in so long. My grandmother would be so upset.
Denise Plummer Thompson, I have 10 siblings, all married, multiple kids. My mom used to host all of us in their house, 1 bathroom. I love my family, but no.
My grandmother added a second bathroom in our house in the 80s. Oof. So for a long time, it was just the 1 bathroom.
Paula Takagi, just me, myself, and I, and my dog. But going to fix the entire dinner. Good for you.
I just can't. I'm tired.
Anna Pierce, I saw a mold made from black resin. Have you used it before? It was awesome with cinnamon.
I have. So I bought black resin. I actually have some over there. And actually, one of the things that we gave away in the jar this last week was one of the ones I used. It was a cameo mold. And what I did was I poured her in the white resin and I let that set. I think I did this one. And then I poured black resin in the rest of it. So she looked like, anyways, I love black resin. It's
reverse
beautiful.
negative?
Yeah. So her casting, and it was kind of see-through a little bit. It was really pretty. I want to believe that was one of the things in the mystery grab that we did on Friday.
Mm.
So I have my silicone cup here. You guys see? I've marked my lines with a pen because they make those little raised lines. Like, I'm going to be able to see that. So I have my cup all marked so I know exactly what to mix. And I'm going to go ahead and pour all my molds at once. And the cool thing about the newer molds from IOD is they tell you exactly how much resin each one takes. So all I have to do is figure out what I'm going to pour, and then I'll know how much resin to make. So add these up, baby. 16 plus, oh, Lord, plus 15.
Okay.
Wait. No. 15 plus 10. 16 plus 10 is 26.
Right.
And then I said I was going to do this one, right? Plus 5.5.
All right.
Plus, what is the second one should I do? Plus 9.5.
41.
Okay. So because these are all pretty open, I'm going to go ahead and mix it all at once. Whenever you're working with like something really delicate like the Harper molds, which we all just, we all struggle with that one. If I'm working with the Harper mold, I'll mix very little resin, because the more resin that you mix in your cup, the more heat it's going to produce and the faster it's going to set. So if you're working on something that requires you to pour really slowly, then you can actually help yourself by mixing less. Like I would never mix 40 mils if I was trying to pour really slow. But these are all pretty open. I can just dump it in there, so I'm not really concerned. So I'm going to go ahead and just do all 40 mils.
Jill Burmeister, we're in Arizona this year. Usually we come to Arizona after our Iowa harvest and go home for Thanksgiving. This year is the first year away from our kids.
Oh.
And they'll see Iowa friends while in Arizona. What part of Arizona are you at?
I will tell you that a lot of snowbirds do that. They start coming, and then as we get more mature, they stay here.
Yeah, it used to be I'm going to come for a little while, but I'm going to get home for the big holidays, and then it's, well, we're going to miss this holiday, but we'll be there for Christmas, we'll miss Thanksgiving. Okay, well, we're not going to be there for Thanksgiving or Christmas, but we'll be there for Easter, and then it's like, yeah, we'll be there when the snow's gone.
Yeah. They can come out here and visit. Well, heck, you guys have brought everything here anyways. You got spring training here. You got Carter's. What are all the restaurants? What's the one, your favorite one? I mean, Carver's. What's the one hamburger place?
Oh, yeah. Culver's.
Culver's, yes.
Is from Wisconsin.
I'm saying Midwest.
Oh, Midwest. Yeah, okay.
Yes. And then your restaurant, which is the name of that one?
Portillo's. There's also Rosati's Pizza. There's Lou Malnati's is out here.
Illuminati? What?
Not Illuminati, Lou Malnati. Lou is not my favorite. Malnati's not my favorite. I'd rather have a Rosati's.
Okay, and I like to hold mine eye level when I'm doing my measurements so that I can pour more accurately. And so I'll have them in there, and I'm just going to mix it. When you first start mixing, you'll see like little ribbons of white. And you want to just keep mixing until everything is consistent and you don't have like those ribbons of clear or white. It'll turn kind of milky when it's mixed really well. And you want to mix well, but don't take too long because you only have like 2 minutes before it starts setting up. And so we are going to do this one. And I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. I think I'm out of the shot a little bit. Sorry. And this one.
So I should mention that I told my boss I will be off for a couple of days in April.
Yes.
And it just so happens at the same time our sports guy
Is going to be off.
is taking his annual spring baseball trip. He likes to go to 3 or 4 or 5 different baseball parks.
Oh.
So he does a trip. Last year he went upper Midwest. So he did Cleveland, Cincinnati, Detroit, and Pittsburgh. So this coming year, I'm not sure where he's going. I think he's going New York, Philly, catch both New Yorks, Philly, Baltimore, and Washington, I think are the games he's going to go to this year. But we'll be going, I'm going to be gone the same time. Well, 2 of the days, because it's your retreat. I wanted to mention that because that's coming up quick, and early pricing is going to end soon.
The early bird special ends December 1. I was looking for my thingy on there. Oh, here it is. So if you guys are interested in the retreat, be sure and register. I was able to negotiate a bargain for motel rooms with our local hotelier. There's 2 hotels that are participating. Well, they own both of them. And we have like so much good stuff planned. I'm so excited. I've already started purchasing supplies. The space is fabulous. And I'm super excited to get together and to create all the things. I'm excited, super excited. And I have been, I don't know, I'm excited.
But people who want to go, FYI, the seats are filling up.
Yeah.
So just want to let people know I understand it's Christmas time, you got priorities and, gifts and stuff like that. Just FYI. You'll take a wait list once it fills, but there's no guarantees.
There's no guarantees after that.
Yeah.
You guys see that white right there? So this one's already starting to set up. So I'm going to set these to the side. I was trying to wait for them to start setting up before I set them to the side because, look, I know my table is not level. So I like to let them start setting up a little bit first. And you guys will notice that the one that had the most resin is the one that started setting up first. And it's because all that resin starts generating its own heat, and so it starts setting up first. And this one is the most shallow of all of them. It has the least amount of resin, and you guys will note that it's setting up last. And it's because it doesn't have as much resin, and so it's not generating as much heat. So we'll go ahead and set these aside, and then we will paint our frames gold. And I'm going to be using Pasha's Pale Gold. You guys know it's my favorite. And it's the Posh Pigments in Pale Gold. I love Pasha's pigments because they are ground so fine that you don't end up with glittery paint. You actually end up with the metallic paint. And which brush should I use? I always mix too much of this, more than I need, but you know what? I don't have a container. You know those containers you bought today would be perfect for what I'm going to do right now. But let me find something. We'll just mix as we go. So I'm going to take a little bit of this.
You want me to run in?
No, it's okay, babe. I'll just mix it on here. That way I can peel it off and use it in one of my other art pieces. So I'm just going to pour some here out on my thing. And then I'm going to add, you can add any clear coat that you have to make your own metallic paint. The more clear coat you use, the less opaque your paint is going to be. So you get to kind of mix it the way you want it. And you guys, it is so stinking yummy. This is my favorite.
So I want to go back to the retreat because I sit on a committee with the hotel general manager. With Martine.
Yes.
And he's also hosting the meet and greet for you guys, right?
He is. We're hosting the meet and greet there in the hotel lobby.
So you can
all
have
the attendees get drink tickets included with the meet and greet. Plus, you will have like finger foods that night.
Which means no driving.
No, because you're there.
You're there, which is wonderful. So if you decide to have Because you can buy another drink if you want to buy another drink. You're not driving. There's nothing preventing you, which I like.
Safety
Because
first.
sometimes you go to these things and it's like you can't really thoroughly enjoy yourself.
Because you have to drive.
Because you got to, and it's like, not now.
No.
So Martine's hosting that, and there'll be hors d'oeuvres and drinks. You've got the local baker that's going to produce fresh baked goods for each morning.
Yep. I'm super excited about that. And she's an artisan baker. Like, she bakes from, like, I don't know, 2 to 6 every day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what goes to the bakery. And then once she sells out, that's it. But she's going to bake some stuff just for us.
You arranged with a couple of the local restaurants for lunch.
Yes. Fancy Pizza will be doing one of our lunches.
And that's all, he's all handmade. What did he say? He's got one ingredient that he doesn't make.
The cheese.
Is that it? He has to buy the cheese?
Yes.
Okay. Well, some places make their own cheese.
Yeah, no, he's not making the cheese.
Okay, so that's the one thing he doesn't make.
He makes his dough every morning.
Makes his dough, makes his sauces. He makes his sausage, because I know he told me that.
Yes.
I assume he doesn't make his own pepperoni.
No, I don't think so, babe.
But and then he buys as much local as he can on the produce side. And who's the other one?
Well, I don't really have. I'm in talks with several people.
Oh, okay.
I have
all right.
people that don't normally cater, and I'm trying to convince them.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
we'll see what happens, because
Gotcha.
I really want to do El Mesquite for lunch.
I know. Yeah. And then it's the evening it's happening at the same time our local spring festival.
Yes.
So it's vineyards and live music.
Yes, and I guess we're gonna maybe have a couple of breweries there too this year.
Oh, well, we're getting our first local craft brewery, so
Yes.
I would hope they'd be there. They're supposed to open, I think, in the spring, but I'm not sure.
So we have a couple of microbreweries, and I've already negotiated with the chamber for us to have our own seating area at the
At the
at
festival?
the Spring Fest. Yes.
I
Speaking of which, remind me tomorrow. I need to buy pop-ups.
Oh, okay.
That was part of the negotiation, but yes.
I say all that because I want people to understand that's all included.
Yeah.
All of that is.
Yeah. So breakfast and lunch for the days, the meet and greet on Thursday night. Your swag bag is going to be bomb. And most of the craft supplies you guys will get to take home with you after the event. Not all of them. Like, I'm ordering jelly plates, and I'll be keeping those for future events. But, ooh, look at that gold, you guys. Isn't that so pretty? We're going to need a second coat of gold, but that's okay.
Angie Champagne, any good Mexican food?
Yes.
In this town, that's all we have.
That's what I was going to say. My favorite Mexican food restaurant is the one that I'm hoping, please, Chewy, that he'll agree. We can
See,
work
you
out
call him
something.
Chewy. I always refer to him by his proper name.
I'm sorry.
No. I mean, everybody refers to him that way, but to me, he's Jesus. And it is true, pure Mexican food. It's his family recipes and his family doing the cooking. I believe his mom's in the back.
I don't know. I know his wife's in the back.
I know his wife is. I thought his mom was back there.
Oh, I don't know.
And he's got his daughters working it too.
And
so
his sons too, yeah. Or
Yep.
his son, one of his sons I met. But that's my favorite Mexican food place in town.
yeah, you got to get there at the right time. Otherwise, you are waiting hour and a half, 2 hours.
And I'm also negotiating for spouses too. Like the golf package.
Yep.
You get free lunch, and then you get a discounted dinner at the local steakhouse.
Yep. No, you get gift cards.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
You get, what is it? You get a.
does it include the? I think we were going to negotiate for.
So the golf package is a round of golf for 4, or no, round of golf cart, lunch at the clubhouse, and dinner at the steakhouse.
Now, babe, that's for the other one that includes the motel room. I'm negotiating for
Oh,
a
gotcha.
different
Oh,
package.
for a separate one. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. All right.
Because mine's going to be a little bit different. So.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, the Mexican place that Royce is talking to, The burrito tacos.
The burrito tacos are my favorites.
Yep, are the highlight.
I keep saying that, but the zarapa fries are my favorite too.
Okay.
I have a lot of fries. And the carne asada is my favorite. So, I'm the mess, y'all. Don't ask me what the best thing to eat there because I have a list.
Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis, when I paint with metallic, I get streaks, direction marks, brush strokes, etc. How do I prevent that?
So you know what? I am going over super light. This is a soft brush. I always choose a softer brush when I'm working with metallics. And then I always get a streaky finish on the first coat. So I expect to have to do a second coat because I'm not going to get like a really nice smooth finish on my first coat. So use a light brush, and I think I just do it out of habit. Now I can't really hold my piece because my paper is still kind of wet, but I apply the paint on there so it's on there, right? And then I'm going to go over super light with my brush, and it's a softer brush. And then that's just going to be the first coat. Like I know I'm going to have to go back over this a second time to get a really nice coverage. So rather than try to get a lot of coverage on the first layer and pile on too much product, it's better to do 2 thinner coats. And I think that that'll help too with not getting as many brush marks, is laying down thin coats of paint.
Jill Burmeister, our Iowa person, is over in Mesa. Well, Jill, you'll have to come join us in April then.
I know.
It's a short 2.5 hour drive.
And you guys do have to fly. It's interesting. So somebody made a suggestion that next time we do the retreat, like in a major metropolitan area, so people can just fly in and go. But having it in my community allows me to negotiate much better rates for and not only that, like if I go to a city and I go to a restaurant and they don't know me, like,
yeah, why would I do it?
Why would I do that? Yeah.
But we know, heck, Ben over at Fancy Pizzeria, in fact, he got one of your orders wrong because he knows what I can eat.
I know. He didn't put garlic on my pizza because he thought it was for David. Exactly,
because I can't eat garlic. So that's the great thing about getting to know our local business owners.
Yeah, and to me, I was talking to one of my coaches about this. I want it to be an experience, right? It's going to be very experiential. And so it's going to be, we were laughing because I told her it's not going to be bougie because you guys know that that's not really me, but it is going to be super special. And it's not that everything's going to be fancy, but there are going to be a lot of I'm going to our local restaurants who have handcraft food, I'm saying, for our continental breakfasts and our lunches. I'm not just going anywhere for those meals. I am ordering really good supplies for us to use at the event. The event space itself is gorgeous. It's beautiful. And then I'm even talking to David's boss about sound to make sure that everybody can hear.
Yep.
And we'll have at least one extra monitor to make sure everyone can see. So to me, it's about the experience. And for me to build something like that in Phoenix or Tucson, the cost would be just
outrageous,
astronomical. It
really would. Because you looked into booking a ballroom.
Yes, and just that part took me out.
Yep.
I was like, I'm not going to be able to do anything else. Not in the price point that I wanted to be able to provide the experience.
Flea says the hotel rate alone is amazing.
Yes.
And again, that's
because I was able to negotiate that because of relationship.
Yeah. We've known Martine for years. He gave us great room rates for the Comic-Con.
Yes.
So, yeah, it really makes... I talk about this on my radio show all the time. Wherever you live, I don't care. It's not just here. Talk to your local businesses. Just talk to them. They want to talk to you. They want to know what you like and what you don't like.
Maybe. Sometimes I'm kidding. I got to talk to Trisha at the ice cream shop. We have the cutest little ice cream shop here, you guys. Sorry.
Yep. They really want to know, and once you've established that relationship, if you can bring them business, they want to help you.
Yes.
So it really does. And it's not just because we're a small town, although that helps. You know, how often do you see, if you live in Tucson, how often do you see the president of the University of Arizona? Well, I get to see our local college president a lot.
Yeah.
Because we're a small town.
We used to say that for advocacy, because for a lot of small communities, you know, you don't have a lot of representation at the state level, you know, and it can be hard. And we don't have a lot of representation, but like I see our people.
Yeah.
Right? At T-ball games and at Rotary meetings or Lions meetings, you know.
One of our state legislators came to our wedding.
Yes. Gail Griffith.
Yeah. And I see the mayor when I get gas. That's for whatever reason, the mayor and I run into each other. Apparently our cars need gas at the same time.
At the same time. That's funny.
But I think I've seen him at the gas station probably 4 times now.
That is too funny. I see everybody at Walmart.
Yeah. So, but you don't get that. I saw Mayor Daley once in my lifetime in Chicago.
Isn't that gold beautiful, you guys? So pretty. And I'm using a satin finish with mine. If you wanted like something that was a little bit glossier, you could use a gloss clear coat in your pigment. Do we have any questions, babe?
No, we do not.
No questions?
No questions.
I'm always nervous when there's no questions. That either means I'm doing a really good job or a horrible job. And
everybody's
really
watching football.
Oh, is that what it is?
I don't know. Who's the night game tonight? I don't even know who the night game is.
Yo no sé.
I was watching a little bit of that Cardinals game, and it was not looking good for the Cardinals when I was watching.
The poor Cardinals.
Yeah.
They like can't get right on life.
David, it sounded as if seeing the mayor gave you gas. Well, you know. No, I like our mayor. He's a really nice guy. He is.
And you guys, I'm going to paint the inside of the frame, but I can't really paint it until the, I picked a complicated project, didn't I?
And that was the question that just came up. Will you paint the inner side of the frame?
Yes, I'll paint the inside. It's just, remember, we haven't trimmed that decoupage paper yet, so I can't paint the inside just yet. So I'm going to get these painted, and then we're going to go back to the molds. But like if you're working on these, you can do yours in sections, right? So maybe you prep all your frames first, and then you sit down and pour your molds.
Oh, Rams and Eagle are the night game. That's a good game. Should be.
We're sharing our son's YouTube TV, so we'll be able to watch.
Well, he shares our HBO.
That's true. Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Remember the logins? There's Royce. There's, I think, did you put one for the kids? And then there's Khaleesi.
Yeah.
Which is our son. So
I know. I had to like twist his arm to watch Games of Thrones, and then now he's like a fan.
he loves the boys.
Of course he does.
He's really into that.
Because they're terrible.
He keeps telling me, have you watched it? Have you watched it? No, I read the comic.
That gold is so pretty.
I read the comic like 5 years ago. I know how it ends.
And then the cool thing too is I'm using a water base, because you guys know how sometimes you'll use a metallic and it's oil based, and so this is water based. So even though it's a metallic, I can just stick my brush in my water and I'm good to go. I don't have to worry about my brush being ruined. And I'll go back, and you guys will see in the photos when I share them, I'll paint the insides of this. Oh, sure. Forget about trimming that. I know. You know what? So
because she asked about the inside, and, you know.
So, okay. When you decoupage, remember you have 2 planes. You have your vertical plane and your horizontal plane that are meeting right here. And that decoupage medium really does settle in here. And so even though it can be dry to the touch, chances are there's still some moisture here. So I like to wait as long as possible before going in with my my blade to cut my paper out. So I'm kind of buying time a little bit before I go in there and try to mess with those. But I can just pop these out, and they're beautimous. And you can absolutely do this with clay, or you can do it plaster Paris too. I was thinking when I was doing this that I might experiment with some of my Venetian plaster. That might be really pretty. And so I could try to use them like this, but I feel like they look like resin, right? It doesn't look like it could be like a plaster casting. And so we're going to paint these. And I chose a warm white on purpose because you guys see the background I chose is pretty warm. And so I want it to look harmonious. And so this white, it's white, but you guys can see this is a bright white. And this is kind of, it has like a little bit of green in it, right? But it's a really pretty white. And this is self-leveling, so it's going to give us a nice, smooth finish.
Melissa Q.E. Gomez, is the retreat for newbies as well?
Yes, you guys, the retreat is for anyone because we have everything is going to be step by step by step by step. You guys will get a chance to experiment with things. And there'll be some people who will come and they'll know some of the things, but they may not know some of the other things. And that's the beauty of coming to events like these, is that you get to play. And even if you know how to use something, you may discover like a new way to use it. So we'll have stations where you guys will get to experiment and play with different like processes on Friday, and then on Saturday we're going to bring all those things together and we're going to create something fabulous. And then on Sunday we're going to like tweak everything and I don't know, like last minute touches. And then Jane Belante will be there and we'll be doing some work just around how we speak to ourselves and how we limit ourselves, right, from what we like to do. And I'm super excited about that piece. And then, of course, in the evenings, we get to hang out. You guys can come dance with me if you want to. I'm going to be dancing.
Yeah, you don't have to volunteer for this one.
No, I already told them I'm out. I am not there. For Salsa Fest, I guess I'm in charge of all things salsa. But for this event, I am a guest. I'm not volunteering. But we'll have our own, what is Kay calling them? We'll have our own cabanas at the event, you guys.
Should also mention, bring your plus ones. Plus ones can take part in the retreat too. Sonnet had 1+1 that took part.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes. Well, plus ones, as long as they register.
Right. They have to register. But now I didn't. I was your +1 at Sonnet's retreat. But I used it as an excuse to go travel around to places I used to go when I was a kid.
And you went to Green Bay.
I went to Green Bay and Lambeau, and then I went to Oshkosh and Fond du Lac, and places we used to go when we were kids.
Yeah. Because you haven't been back home in how long? I mean, I know that's not home, but that's probably the closest you've been home.
I went to Minnesota in 2010. For a week, Duluth, where I went to college. I went back to the Chicago area in 2000 or 2001 for a radio conference. And I didn't even get into Chicago proper. I was in the Rosemont area the whole time because we were at a conference. Those are the only times I've been back, and then Wisconsin with you, since 93.
Oh,
so
wow.
in 30 years.
Yeah. So you guys see what I'm saying? The difference, right? The resin looks more plasticky, but now this looks like it could be like something that's been casted. And so that's why I want to paint them. And this product is self-leveling, so I'm not going to have any brush marks. So they're going to look really smooth. And it dries in like a really beautiful like eggshell finish. It's like a little, I guess eggshell is the perfect description of the finish that you get from this product.
Jenny Marmion, what color 1 hour enamel are you using?
I am using cashmere, Jenny. I wanted something a little warmer because our background is so warm.
And Denise Thompson says, I'm from Fond du Lac. Does that mean you used to live there or you are there now? Fond du Lac changed a lot.
I was going to say, David was just, everything is a lot, there's a lot more people and everything is bigger.
Yeah, it really
and
did.
there's a lot more stuff.
From when, but Fond du Lac and Oshkosh, I hadn't been to those in maybe 40 years.
Yeah.
So, the idea of them staying exactly how I remember.
You were really disappointed, though.
But because I was stupid. I should have known better that places with people change.
You were just like, it is so different.
Yeah. She's
What
still
happened
there.
to my small little town.
Yeah. Yeah. But like I say, it was Oshkosh, probably about 45 years, and Fond du Lac, probably 40. Oh, no, more than that. Might even be close to 50 years for Fond du Lac.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I remember small towns. They're not. They're cities.
Yeah.
They're not giant. They're not Milwaukee, but...
I was stricken by how things are there because we were in Appleton, and what did we say the population was, about 10,000?
Yeah, each of the towns were like 10,000.
But I mean, they had like major stores and stuff there.
Because every town is like the next block over. So because the towns are clustered so close together, their general population was about 100,000.
So you think that the one Ross we saw was probably the only one in the whole area?
I would guess. But that's what I noticed. And that's where I grew up, the northwest side of Chicago. There's a whole bunch of towns really, really close to each other. All those suburbs around Chicago are tightly packed.
Yeah.
That even though your town may be small, when you add it with the other, 10 towns around there, you've got a big population center. So, yeah, that was the thing that surprised me. Because I'm like, Appleton, and we met that guy on the plane. He's like, 100,000. We're like, 100,000? Then we get there, and there's the sign, welcome to Appleton, population 10 or 11,000.
Maybe he was talking about the whole area.
He was talking about the area, because then when I was driving around, I was seeing all those signs, and I'm like, oh, that's how you get 100. All right.
10,000, 10,000, 10,000.
Yep.
And you guys notice I'm kind of poking the paint in there because there's a lot of details in these, and I want to make sure that I get paint in all those details. So, and once my brush is a little bit dry, I'm also going in to kind of pick up a lot of excess paint because I don't want to fill up my details and then not be able to see them.
Denise Thompson, I miss my Fond du Lac from 40 years ago. I'm 67. It's not the hometown I once knew. Yeah. I mean, and that's the way I reacted. It's like, this isn't the town I remember. But like I say, it's been 50 years since I've been there.
Yeah.
Maybe not 50, 45. No. We were in our teens.
I should have left that one alone. Now it's going to have some texture on it. I'm going to put some more paint.
In 40 years-ish. Jenny Marmion, my favorite Wisconsin is Madison. I love any city in Wisconsin. I've not been to a bad one. I just like them all. I like the people, which is why I like living here, because this area is very Midwestern. I don't think the folks here realize just how Midwestern they are. And I keep trying to tell them.
Because they're nice?
Yeah, they're nice, they're friendly, they're helpful.
Or they're polite.
They're welcoming.
I tell my husband, we have this thing, right? Because you guys may have noticed, I'm kind of a direct person. And my husband is Midwestern nice. So he'll say something like, I need to do laundry tonight. And I'll be like, okay. But I've learned what that is code for get your crap out of the dryer. I would never tell him to get his crap out of the dryer, by the way. I'm just saying. And so we have discussions about how sometimes when you're trying to communicate nicely, You don't communicate effectively.
That's true. No, that's 100% true. My favorite is how to end a conversation. You slap your thighs.
Oh,
Slap your thighs. Well,
that's it.
that's it. We're done.
Oh, we always say if someone says to you, "For real, that's crazy." Like that's if you get two of those, exit the conversation.
Yeah.
You got to go.
No, it's slap your thighs. Well.
Oh, sorry. That's funny. This one is going to be the easiest because it has this really nice edge on it. We're going to put some gold on these. And I'm looking at each of them, and some are going to be easier than others.
Kathleen Hoovis, not sure the difference between a town and a village, but I live in a village. It's small, but close to a larger city. We aren't counted in their population, but we shop there 10 minutes away. I lived in Chicago for the first 13 years of my life. And then we moved to the village where my mom worked as a police officer when they changed the rules.
Hey, hippie Tex.
Used to live around the community.
Yeah.
But then they said, no, if you're a police officer, you have to live in the community.
Yeah.
So we moved in. And it was a village. In Illinois, a village is basically just a town.
Okay. It's probably still bigger than our town, though, huh?
No, I would say my village was probably just barely bigger than Safford.
You guys see what I mean? That paint self-levels, right? So you don't see any brush marks. And the finish isn't super shiny, but it is have a little bit of a sheen. And so that's exactly what I wanted.
Kathleen Hoovis, it's not well, it's whelp. You're right, Kathleen. My apologies. Wendy Reese Purdy, my son lives in Wisconsin. They have a special needs son. They get the most wonderful help and support there. Wisconsin has a great educational system. My cousin has a severely autistic son. He's really not communicative, and she beelined it from Chicago to Wisconsin.
To Wisconsin.
And has had support the whole time.
Oops.
She and her husband. I mean,
Yes.
her daughter just went to college.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah. Just went.
I was going to try to cheat you guys, but I got to mix up a little bit more. And in case you guys are wondering, I'm going to let this build up on here because when it dries off, I'm going to peel that off. And I'll use it in one of my, oh my gosh, I hate when words just fall out of my head. One of my collages.
Jenny Marmion, my daughter's mother-in-law, had the same situation. Her dad was a Chicago firefighter. They had to move to the city. Yeah, there was, I want to say it was in the 70s where just all around that area was like, if you're an employee of, you got to live there.
Oh, I would, if you're like law enforcement or that makes sense to me because you want to know your community, right? Mm-hmm. Especially, I mean, because if you're going to a community to police, I just think that just leaves a lot of room for. I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, it's not like we lived far from the village. I would say we lived maybe 8 blocks away.
Oh.
But then we had to move into the village. It's like, okay, that's fine. But by moving into the village, I actually got into a better high school.
I was going to say, you called it Coptown, didn't you?
Oh, it was Copland.
Oh, Copland.
Yeah. Yeah, where we lived was Copland. And again, my village 2 blocks away to the east or to the north was Chicago. So
you were like in the middle?
We were right on the border.
Why you guys let me get gold on there like that? I don't want to do that.
So we had all the benefits of Chicago without paying Chicago taxes, with having our law enforcement literally around the corner.
I wonder how your Chicago neighbors felt about that.
They didn't like that our village got as much as it got.
Yeah.
But we were paying for it. Every homeowner there paid for it. It's just we were small enough that, what they really didn't like was driving through Chicago. You had to go through our village if you wanted to go to O'Hare. Don't speed.
Oh.
And in Illinois, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to have city stickers. So each city, town, village required a sticker on your vehicle. You basically had to register your car with the state,
And with
your
the
license
city?
plate, and with the city.
Oh, no.
City stickers were nothing. They were like $5.
Okay.
But that sticker said where your car is from.
Oh, so if somebody wasn't from there, they were probably more likely to get stopped.
My sticker kept me out of a lot in my town and in my village and the neighboring village. If you had a Chicago sticker, take your chances.
That is so jacked up. They probably felt like they had to drive through the Wild Wild West to get to O'Hare.
Jenny Marmion, her daughter is a police officer in Arlington Heights, lives 50 minutes away. I worked right before Chicago still has city stickers. Okay, thank you, Mary. I worked in Arlington Heights right before I left to come here. I left my old job, took this one, but I knew I was only going to be there for like 3 or 4 months because we knew we were moving to Arizona, and I hated it. That commute was awful.
Oh.
Arlington Heights, from where I lived, was 15 miles, maybe. It would take me an hour to get to work
Oh my gosh.
because the traffic was just so crazy.
That's the difference of being here too. Because like when we go to Phoenix, it takes you 40 minutes to get anywhere. And it might only be like 5-10 miles.
Kathleen Hoovis, we still have village stickers. Lived here 2 years before we figured out we were required to have them. Rita Burnett Laws, why do you call it a village? That's what it's called in Illinois. So here it's the town of Thatcher, the town of Pima, city of Safford, and that's based on your population level. In Illinois, it's a village. I don't know why. It's the village of Dalton, the village of Norridge, the village, Elk Grove Village. I don't know why. It just is.
You guys see how that gold I don't even know. There's just something about, and not a lot. I always feel like a little bit of metallic is kind of like animal print. Just a little bit. Not a whole lot.
In Wisconsin, we avoid a little village called Rosendale, Ticket Town. You don't dare go over the speed limit there.
Ticket town.
That's kind of what my village was.
And your town was a ticket town?
Yeah. Those tickets made a lot of money, kept the streets plowed. Just
That's
saying.
terrible. And you guys can see I'm just putting a little bit on the edge there. Not a lot.
Shannon Booth, I've been told by law enforcement here they don't want to live in the same town they work in. Safer to live outside of it, sadly.
Oh, yeah, that's true from their perspective. I mean, because you may have to deal with retribution.
Like I say, our neighborhood was copland. We had literally 3 cops on our block, 2 around the corners. Yeah. And then in Chicago, right next to us is where all the Chicago police officers went to, because it was the newest neighborhood in Chicago, and when they expanded out to O'Hare. So we had all the Chicago coppers that lived out there.
Coppers.
Our old congressman, Tom O'Halloran.
Oh, yeah, Tom O'Halloran.
Lived literally about 4 blocks away from me. He was a Chicago officer, had to live in Chicago, so he lived there.
Here, our policemen, they keep their cars, and their cars are parked in their yard. So, where all the police live here.
Yep. You are at 90 minutes.
Am I at 90 minutes already?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's put together one. Of course, the one I didn't paint is the one I need. Baby, you should have gave me a warning before we got here.
I was so busy talking.
I know. I was going to say, but you were talking. See? Okay. Let's do this last one. And then I'll trim that one, and then we'll put it together before we go. And no questions, baby?
No. Flea Brown says the cost of housing in Santa Barbara is so high, many of our first responders live in neighboring cities. I believe that. Santa Barbara's pricey.
California, like to me, whenever I go to see Andrea, I'm like, Lord have mercy for Jesus.
Chris Schmidt, I lived in Aurora, had to commute to Harvey for a year and a half. That is a drive. Harvey's way on the south side of Chicago. Aurora is western suburb. Not northwest, I want to say it's western. It's a heck of a drive. When my ex and I first got married, we got an apartment that was on the Evanston border. We were, I don't know, 6-7 blocks just south of the border with Evanston, which is the furthest north you can go in Chicago. And that's where all the bougie people live.
I was going to say, I remember you talking about that's where all the bougie.
And Evanston's the least bougie as you go up the shore. It gets bougier.
Oh, okay. So the further up you go, the bougier.
Yeah, exactly. So we live there. And our son's godmother, because we had become, her husband and I had become friends through theater. And then my ex and his wife became really good friends. So she was our son's godmother. They lived in Tinley Park, which is like the suburb to the most south of the city.
Oh, my goodness.
And there's no easy way to get there. Just none. It was closer to go to Milwaukee than it was to go visit them or them to visit us.
That's madness.
It is, yeah.
Okay. I want it to be pretty, so I don't want to rush it. Although you're chatty tonight, so I have a feeling you're good.
I don't.
Although you gotta go to work in the morning. Okay. So I have all my gold. It's golden. Ooh, look at how pretty those are. I got a lot of gold left. I'm going to have to find something to paint. So those are all my pieces, you guys, with the gold. I am just loving the way that they came out, right? So pretty. They look fancy. They look bougie. Okay, so remember, this is a gift you're making for your bougie friends.
Oh, Happy Texas 20 says, finally made it. Church out early. Good for you. Lori Kentner says, Gustav Klimt would be proud.
Gustav Klimt.
Isn't Klimt an artist?
Oh, okay. I'll take it. I don't know. You have to explain it. See, you're so busy talking. You just missing the comments, baby. Oh, Lord. I'm going to have to be careful, you guys, because I got to... Oh, these are different blades. Interesting. You guys, I am all in for finding craft supplies at the thrift store. So you see these X-Acto knives are probably from like 1982. But they work really well, so we're going to use them.
Oh, they were later than that.
They were later than that?
Yep, we used those at my first newspaper, and that would have been 96.
Oh, I mean...
We were still using them up to about 99 because production had to use them. They were still cutting out. There were times when you spot a typo, you were literally cutting out the proper word and pasting it on the page.
Oh, my.
On the paste ups.
I mean, we still have X-Acto knives now, baby, but they just look different. They don't look like these.
But those knives, I remember those knives.
And you guys, whenever I'm trimming, you guys will notice that my blade is sideways. I'm not going down like this to trim. I'm actually using the sides to help guide my knife. And whenever you're working on an inset, usually the corners will lift up. It's just inevitable. So I like to cut around the corners first, which kind of releases them. And then I'll go back to the corners because they'll be pulled taut. And if you just try to cut them, then you'll end up, where they're not cut right, if that makes sense. So I like to cut the areas around them first and then go back and do my corners and being super careful. What I mean is you see how it's being pulled. It's because the paper has shrunk and it's pulling this away from the corner.
Angie Champagne says Klimt used gold foil in his paintings.
Oh, okay.
And Denise Thompson says the craft knives are great, but blades can be tricky to change.
Yeah. The new ones are easier. But these are at the thrift store. You guys, I went to Goodwill in Tucson. I found so many art supplies. It was a marvelous evening. I want to do at least this one, okay, babe, and then we can come off.
Okay. Renee T. Hence cut and paste that we use on computers today. Correct.
Yeah.
But literally, I remember the production people right at deadline when the boards had to go out, and they were boards. You did paste up on boards, and there was that one last pass. Up. Somebody misspelled this word. Okay, quick, type it up, print it out, let's cut and paste it. Then they would go in with an X-Acto. I'm going to cut out the word, paste in the new one.
That's crazy town. Somebody was laughing at me because I was using correction tape the other day. I was like, what? It still works? I'm not going to print out a whole nother page just for one little thing. And I actually use correction tape when I'm crafting sometimes.
Lori Kentner said Klimt painted the Kiss in 1905, $250,000.
Oh, wow. And I know exactly which one you're talking about. $250,000. That is beautiful, though. It looks like it's mixed media. I never really, I should revisit that one because it is beautiful. I mean, look at it up close and figure out because it doesn't look like it's just paint. I mean, just, you know, like oil paint. Okay. So you guys will see here my edges are still lifted a little bit. So I'm going to need to go back in there with my brush and put some more down. And I still need to go in and paint. I'm going to do that real quick because I still have a lot of paint left over. And I don't want to waste it. And the thing about this is when you mix it, try to mix what you need because you can't really store it. I mean, you can try, but it like separates. And to me, it's never quite the same. So I try to only mix what I'm going to actually use.
So are you going to come back to this next week to finish it?
I'll probably finish it and then post it.
Okay.
I'm just going to paint this really quickly and we're going to I'm just going to sit it on there so everybody can see what it's going to look like when we finish. And I'll just use some E6000 and hot glue to adhere my medallions to my frames. But I think this would be a nice gift for someone. If you have a friend who's like a minimalist, right? They don't like a lot of busy stuff. And you want to give them something that they'll actually appreciate and use. I think this is a good gift idea. Are you leaving me?
Yes. I had to turn myself back on.
Okay.
But I'll be back.
Okay. I'm sorry you're running over tonight, you guys. Y'all can't even see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. I'm just painting the inside of this. And I'm trying to be super careful, so I'm holding it closer to me. And so I'm going to do a second coat. But you see how I say it's better to do 2 thinner coats. And you really don't have any brush. I really don't have any brush marks. You have some texture, but that's just from the wood. You can still see the grain of the wood underneath. But by doing thinner coats, you're less likely to have the brush marks. And then also, I'm using my 1R enamel as my clear coat. So that might be another reason why I get a nice finish. Yeah, I mixed some of my Posh pigment, which is a powder pigment, and I'm mixing it with the 1R enamel satin. So that's what I'm mixing it with. And that may be why I'm not getting brush marks. I thought about that is because I'm using the 1R enamel. So I thought this one would be pretty, the larger one, if we did the bigger one. And then this one is kind of like a scene. It's a lady with some sheep and a tree. You know, kind of this, it's a scene that looks like it would be from the same time period. So I thought this one would be pretty just below it. What do you guys think? I think that would be a really pretty gift to give to somebody. And then because I like having, I am like all in on a gallery wall, you guys. So I thought it would be pretty to have like a few pieces, right? With different medallions glued in them. And that would be like a fabulous gift set to give to somebody. And I still have to finish these. I have to paint the inside and trim them out. Over is never a problem. So I already painted the medallions. I just used a white. I used 1-hour enamel in cashmere to paint them. I'm going to leave them white. You could paint them whatever color you want it though, right? But I wanted to imitate, and I can't think of the word. Somebody told me earlier the name of the word of what they're called. Castings, like antique castings that people would collect on their travels. And we could paint them a color, right? But I'm going to leave them white. I just wanted to do something, like we said, this is like for your minimalist friend, right? It's clean, it's simple, and it's something that they would enjoy like hanging on their gallery wall. And I think it looks bougie. What do you guys think? Super pretty. And again, you guys could use whichever ones you wanted to use, of course. You could put those two actually look kind of nice, don't they? That's a nice balance. You guys know me. I'll make up my mind eventually what I'm going to use. But these two might be a better balance. But I like the idea of having different ones. So it looks like a collection. Because this would be a collection that I would have gotten through the years and then mount them. I think I like these two together. So I think I'm going to go with these two. It'll be the two ladies. Oh, the oval ones look like cameos. These are, so I used Iron Orchid Designs cameo mold to make these. So on here you have 1, 2, 3 like cameos with faces, and then this one is like a scene. But you also have this tiny cameo here too. This is one of my favorite molds. This one is. So many choices, and you can use this for jewelry. For baking. If you use your molds for baking, just make sure that they're only for baking. You don't want to pour resin in here and then turn around and bake with it the next time, right? So that is our project for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this project. I know it was a lot of different pieces, but like if you wanted to crank out a bunch of these, you could prepare all your frames ahead of time and then prepare your molds, and then you could sit down and assemble everything all at once. But my paper is still lifted around the edges, so I'm going to have to go in with some more. And what I do when that happens, you guys, I'm just going to take a small brush and some clear coat, lift that paper up, put it under there, push it back down, and then re-adhere it, and it'll be fine. And if you have some edges that tear a little bit, you can cheat and just go in there with a fine brush and put a little bit of gold. No one will ever know. They'll never know. But that's all I have for today, unless anybody had any questions. I don't know. I didn't see any questions, but my
Absolutely bougie, Beth Ray says.
absolutely bougie, right? I think my bougie friends would like something.
And Chris Schmidt said intaglio.
Yes, intallo. And it's pronounced intallo. I know that much, but it's spelled like it, according to Google, that's how you pronounce it anyways. But yes, so that's what we're imitating. I will post the Pinterest link on my Royce Cycle page so you guys can see where I got the inspiration for these. She used air dry clay for hers, and you guys know for your molds you can absolutely use air dry clay. It's just a preference thing, right? I prefer using resin, but you can absolutely use air dry clay if that's what you prefer. I really did want mine to look really crisp though, so I feel like I get a more of a crisp mold when I use resin, and then using the self-leveling paint really added to that as well. But I'm still painting. I'm painting the inside of these. But that's all I have for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this as a gift idea. I'm doing a bit of a series where we're doing like, not unlikely, but I don't know, unique gift ideas for your friends. And I feel like this is a gift too. Sometimes, like last week's gifts, I feel like would be for a specific person, right? But this gift could be something that you could take to like an office Christmas party, and whoever got it will still be excited about it.
Is that going to be one of our office Christmas party gifts? We have a couple of them coming up.
We do. I was actually going to put it on Whatnot, but
Oh, okay.
I might. That's a good
No,
idea.
no. I'm okay with it going on Whatnot. It's fine.
What was I going to say before my husband interrupted me? So gift giving season is coming. I think next week, you guys, let's do some gift wrapping ideas. Would that be okay? We could look at some tags, some really interesting tags, and maybe even making some of our own wrapping paper. I think that would be fun in preparation for the holidays, because you can just take some brown paper and make it fabulous. I think we should do that.
We really should do a giveaway next week, too.
Yeah, should we do a giveaway next week?
Well, because I'm looking at the numbers right now, and I always want to reward the people who hang in there.
The ones who hang in to the end.
Yeah.
Oh, because as soon as I say, well, they bounce.
That's right. You say, welp.
But I know, right? I smack my leg and said, welp, so everything is over. Thank you, Flea. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed this project. Remember, you guys, there isn't anything that you've seen today that you cannot absolutely do. You guys can do this. You can do it today. You guys have a blessed week. Enjoy your family or your solace. We'll be enjoying our solace. And happy Thanksgiving. And are we going to see everyone next Sunday, babe?
Yeah, we'll do Sunday, right?
Yeah.
We'll have the man with us.
I think we'll do Sunday. I think we'll be here next Sunday. So
Yeah.
we'll see you guys after Thanksgiving.